So hi everyone, and welcome. It's very nice to see such a large crowd coming to join us. And now, yeah, as a program manager for All4Biodiversity and also as a host, I will explain a bit about our program and a couple of our results, and then I will let the others continue with the other live projects. So a short overview, our project is in the Netherlands, with the main goal being to achieve the Natura 2000 targets and improve the quality of nature by reducing stress factors around the Natura 2000 areas. We do that by collaborating with stakeholders in the transition zones. We have a total of 13 partners, of which 5 provinces, 3 nature and agricultural organizations. We have 2 ministries and 3 knowledge institutes. And well, it's very much connected to our Deltaplan for restoration of biodiversity, and they have 5 factors of success. So our program is actually based on those factors. You can see those on the right side of the screen. So it's about commitment and shared values. It's about optimizing collaboration on a regional level, so about area-oriented approaches with stakeholders. It's also about developing new business models with biodiversity as a source of income. It's about relevant and consistent law and regulation, so removing blockages. And finally, to address knowledge gaps. And all of this information is then gathered, and in the first period, as you can see in the below screen, we started in 2020 and 2021 with pilot, and the results of those pilots were then put into a toolbox, and then during the rest of the program, the toolbox was actually expanded and further filled with more results. So here you can see again the theme. So I mentioned a couple of them, but I can also say it's also about governance. We've also developed a quick scan for opportunities for nature development, which is particularly made for area-oriented approaches with stakeholders. Also to really foster the commitment from stakeholders in the field. We also have knowledge and innovation and education. And of course, we are working on monitoring and communication with a bit of an odd duck in the session about road verge and maintenance. But of course, there's also a large area that is about that has nature involved. So the idea is that we started with these pilots alongside with whatever is already known countrywide regarding these themes, and then we put it all into the toolbox. And here you have a couple of examples which you can already find in the online toolbox. So the quick scan for nature development is there. There are fact sheets in terms of educational material. We also are working, of course, on the monitoring and business models and governance. And I will in particular lift out 2 examples which really have to do with the supply chain. One of them is Brabants Bodem. It's about a biodiversity monitor for dairy farmers, and the other one is actually concerned more with the consumers, and that's called Rotterdam de Boer op. So yeah, Rotterdam, go. Let's see. So first, the dairy farmers. It's actually a project that started on a national level, and the province of North Brabant has actually taken it and even elaborated on it. So it's about monitoring using key performance indicators. And you can see here in the table on the left, you can see the first 6 indicators were the original ones. And then you can also see what it's good for. So the first, for instance, permanent grassland really is beneficial for on a landscape level. The other ones are beneficial more in terms of nitrogen and for water. And Brabant thought, okay, that's nice, that monitor, but we want to do even better. So they actually added more, up to 13 KPIs. And the idea is that the farmers can then choose which KPIs they want to invest in. And then all that data is collected from these farmers into a system. And that is actually being checked. And then each KPI is scored. And then each farmer also receives a passport where they can actually note down how many scores they have and what the reward can be. So here, for example, on the top right, you can see the indicator for permanent grassland, with a specific target, and each target has a specific amount of points that they can earn. And the idea is that every farmer can earn €1 per point with a maximum of 2,500. And actually additional bonuses. So if you really work hard as a farmer, you can actually get a maximum annual award of €5,000. And that is one way. And the nice thing is that this biodiversity monitor has also now been developed for not pasture land, arable land, so for crops. And we are trying to see how we can further develop this in a new LIFE program. This is the other one that I wanted to show. This is about the Rotterdam de Boer op. So that is the movement to also bring biodiverse and short chain products to the customers in in the retail or in the horeca and other public affairs. So up to now, they have a portfolio with several nature-inclusive farmers who are participating in this program, and they are actively selling their products to customers who are, of course, also then more knowable about their stories, and that hopefully then also, of course, helps to sell the products. They even have now a strategy to support the regenerative farmers in the marketing and product development for the short supply chain. And they are also organizing even more excursions and have a local and nature inclusive challenge for catering entrepreneurs. So the program is really about making people enthusiastic to really work with these farmers to also do good for the biodiversity and to also entice customers and also make them understand why this is important. And this is to show, of course, that all of this is not possible without the area-oriented collaboration in the pilot areas. So, like I mentioned in the beginning, in the first 2 years, we really worked hard to establish these pilot areas and work together with these farmers in the field. So on the top left, you can see here a picture from a farmer in South Holland. And you can see some quotes underneath that they found interesting. Or like the take-home message from that collaboration. So here they are really saying how wonderful it is to be creating together, because it also forms a co-ownership. In the middle, you can see here a picture of a result of the biodiversity monitor, so the KPI system that I just explained. So you can see here the farmers that are really intrinsically motivated to participate and to work on this, and they have actually received the reward. And in Gelderland, we were working with farmers to create business plans for nature-inclusive farming. And that is also very valuable, to be learning from farmers with farmers. And all of this, of course, has to do with governance and collaboration. And for that, we have there has been developed a separate booklet, which also shows how important it is to have a common language and to understand the partnerships that you are in and the collaborations. So that's also available. So to sum it all up, what have we learned? It's important to secure the collaborative area processes in policy. The second one is to make rewarding of biodiversity normal and not the exception. And thirdly, to invest in knowledge networks and farmer collectives. And all of the results that we have gathered so far, we collected here in also a booklet about area-oriented and future-proof, inzichten, lessons learned, so to speak, and recommendations that we've gathered so far. And that's, of course, also available for you to download. Our program will end at the 8th of March. So we will also still make a layman's report, of course, which is a bit like this booklet that I just mentioned, but then also a bit more information. And that will become available in March, also available for download in English. And you can find these at all4biodiversity.nl. And of course, the toolbox is available on the link that you can see here below. And that was my presentation, so I will stop sharing.
Okay, thank you very much, Francisca. Again, if you have questions, then please put them in the chat. I have one question from Casper Zullen de Zwarte, and and I don't know whether you know that, but then we can, if you don't, then you can give an answer later on. Do you have an estimate of the investment needed for an average farmer to reach the maximum number of points and to reach the 5K on rewarding, which was mentioned?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I don't have these numbers available, but I can ask one of the partners who is busy with these things. So I will note it down and I will come back to you with an answer for this. I will just note down, I think, Ronald, you have the name of this person.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, okay. I will let you know later. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. If there are no other questions, I have a question for you, Francisca. Looking at this, it was officially 6 years, but in reality 5 years. If you look at the 5-year program, what do you consider the key result, the key insight of that delivered this program?
The key insight, yeah, I think that is very important to be working together, of course. I think one of the top results that we have, I think, is the toolbox, because we had 13 partners and everybody worked very hard to collect information on the themes that I mentioned. And I think it's just wonderful that we have everything collected in the toolbox that is open access, so it's available for everybody. And in addition, the information is easy access as well. So it can really be used as inspiration for all. And secondly, I find it very nice that we have helped out farmers who are intrinsically motivated to work with nature inclusive agriculture to be really continuing with these pilots and to be able to execute that and carry out and even make other farmers enthusiastic in their way.
Okay, thank you very much. I see one remark from Tine. And she says, I'm very interested in a KPI system. Would this also be available via the website? We can make it available. So we will do that. Thank you very much. And the last question, and then, because we have to stick to the time, a question for you, Francisca. Which difficulties did you encounter when you were setting up this project? What challenges were you facing in the initial phase? I don't think only in the initial phase, but let's not dive too deeply into that.
Yeah. I will keep it short, but I think the biggest thing was that we had to start when COVID arrived. So it was really tricky to get all the partners together. One of the tricky part was that the proposal was written by people who already left the partner organization. So you have to find the new people and really start working on connections and people management in a sense, in order to get everybody get everybody started successfully, even though there was COVID. So I think that was one of the big challenges. And I think even without COVID, I think that's one of the most important things in the beginning, to get everybody acquainted with each other and really make a strong team to be able to work through the rest of the program.
Okay, thank you very much. I think there's one question that I really have to answer, but I will do it myself. It was about or whether the program was focused on keeping the good practices of the farmers, or just to encourage them to change their practices. And I think it has been the latter. And so that was the key focus of the project. Okay, thank you very much, Francisca. Normally, when you don't do it in a webinar, then everybody starts applauding, but that's not possible. So let's not do that. Thank you.